Alrighty, hello and welcome. So about a year ago I had Powerwalls installed. So we started in April last year and we had 2 units installed, and then by August I decided that based on the production and the usage that we were doing, I was going to go and add another 2. So we've got a total of 4 on the site here. So that gives us just under about 56 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. And I've jogged down some numbers here in this book here, so I'll read them off for what the system has done over the year and how it's benefited our house, especially for the saving of utilizing less grid power and utilizing your own power. So, alright, so Nathan's experience with the Tesla Powerwalls on the property over 12 months. So over 12 months, we've seen over 17.3 megawatt hours of energy generated purely from the sun. So the sun comes up in Brisbane every now and again. We've probably got close to about 300 days out of the year where there's just pure sun. Might be a bit cloudy, yada yada, but the weather here in Brisbane, usually top. So that's quite a lot of power from solar. And based on what we're looking here, that solar energy, our home consumed 2.9 megawatt hours, which is roughly 16% out of that total 17.3. The cars utilized 2.9 megawatt hours, also 16%. And the Powerwalls consumed 9.5 megawatt hours, which equals 54% out of that total solar generation. 14% went back to the grid, and that is only occurring if all our Powerwalls are full and we don't have anywhere else to store the energy. The system discharges to the grid. So if I look back at those numbers, so home charging, if we were basing this on 35 cents per kilowatt hour, you're looking at a saving of over $1,015. The cars also the same, 2.9 megawatt hours, also $1,000 saving. The Powerwalls consuming that solar energy instead of drawing it from the grid at a base rate of 35 cents per kilowatt hour, that is a saving of over $3,325. So all up just for that solar, doing its self-consumption, not self-consumption, charging the Powerwalls and utilizing for home and car storage, that sees us for a year about $5,355 not buying from the grid. So the next section that I'm going to cover is what did our Powerwalls get used for. So the home used 34% of all the Powerwall generation, so that equals 2.9 megawatt hours. So again, it's $1,000 saved on that. The cars used 5 megawatt hours, which works out to be 59%. That's over $1,700 saved. And the grid only used 7% of outputs on that. So I don't have the stats on that, but I've been with Amber, which is one of those VPP providers. They do offer you access to the wholesale market. So in my 4 months on that, I've got a credit of $564 for participating in some of the grid events that we've seen in Brisbane region for the last 4 months. Highest peak I've seen is back in November last year, and that was over $9 per kilowatt hour. A really cool fact that I like looking at here is how has our Powerwalls been charged, and I can confirm it. I'll put it on the screen here that 96% has come from solar, so that's 9.5 megawatt hours, and only 4% has come from the grid. Pretty impressive numbers. I like numbers, and knowing that I can look in the Tesla app and look at all that retention of data and stats, awesome. That's why I'm sharing it here, because we've got over a year's worth of data and stats here. Backup protection. So Brisbane, a few weeks ago, or last month, we had Cyclone Alfred. Our estate only lost power for 5 hours. And in my logs it says that lifetime backup power for Powerwall has provided the home with 7 hours of continuous power. So we haven't had any blackouts. We didn't have to stress out about do we have fuel for a generator or anything. all we get is a notification in the app, and that's sent to our phones via either Bluetooth or through the inbuilt Wi-Fi if the internet drops out. So we'll still get the heads up on what the system is doing. This has meant that we've become significantly less reliant on the grid, which is pretty cool, and it honestly feels really cool to know that you can power a home, you can offset a significant portion of your power and not have to be subjected to power outages or high prices of electricity. I jumped on AGL's website to have a look at what the current rates are, and for Brisbane area it's currently at 30 cents per kilowatt hour, but it has a little disclaimer at the bottom saying that energy rates will possibly change from July this year. So while everyone's got different rates and we've all been told that different power prices will possibly change, I'm not concerned on that at all, because if power prices go up, as far as I'm aware, the sun's still going to be around, and we've still got a significant amount of portion of energy storage here. So buying all this energy storage is pretty much just safeguarding yourself from potential blackouts, and also just buying energy security. That's what it is. So I've put here that yes, it always feels good knowing you can use more of your own energy and use it as self-consumption. Awesome. In 1 year, Powerwall has powered our home 49% from the Powerwalls and 46% from solar energy, with just 8% required from the grid. And that's a figure over the lifetime of our install done. Powerwall saying provided to the home 2.9 megawatt hours, solar 2.9 megawatt hours, and grid power 0.31 megawatt hours. Home charging the cars, how have we done that as well? So Powerwall is 58%, so that's 5 megawatt hours, and if again I do the pricing and say that we could have bought that 5,000 megawatt hours, which is equivalent to 5,000 kilowatt hours from the grid. If we were doing that at a rate of 35 cents per kilowatt hour, you'd be looking at 1,750. And for those that know, my wife has the Model Y, I've got the Model 3. I drive a significant amount throughout the year. I'm pushing close to about 85 to 90,000 kilometers per year. So that's going to need some power, right? Solar power was 2.9 megawatt hours into the cars. So that's a saving of over $1,000. And from the grid, we only use 0.62 megawatt hours. That's a wrap of what the system's doing. The future that we're going to be doing with the system is participating in Amber's Smart Shift program, which dynamically looks at how much solar we've got during the day. If there's not enough solar, it buys from the grid when energy prices are cheaper, and also the mix in the grid is filled with more renewables. So while you're buying energy from the grid, you don't always have to feel like, I don't want to buy energy from the grid because it's dirty. But Amber's app is able to simplify that to make sure that in the evening, when you want to use your power walls aren't at 20% because you didn't have enough solar production. So the best case scenario is that it's buying electricity when it's cheap, and then you're self-consuming that and not having to subject yourself to buying expensive prices in the evenings. So hope this video was insightful. If anyone's got any questions, leave them down below. I'll also leave a video link down below of when Tesla came out here and did a film demonstration of what our system is and what the benefits were. So I'm here to back their claims on that. It starts with a video saying Nathan reduced his grid usage by more than 94%. That's, yes, spot on. That's what's happened. Sun, it's still going to be around. If the sun does disappear, then, you know, we've probably got other problems, right? So keep the sun ahead, and yep, thanks for watching.